Hello everyone, it's Silvia from Fairlight Tarot. Welcome to my channel. So today I'm happy to show you a few tarot decks, oracle decks, and other things that I bought yesterday at the Mind, Body, Spirit Festival. So if you're not familiar with the Mind, Body, Spirit Festival, it's Australia's largest health, well-being and natural therapies event. There were, I think, something like over 200 exhibitors. There were free inspirational seminars. There were psychic readings, tarot reading, astrological readings, past lives readings, palm readings, irises readings. There were free stage performances with mediums and psychics and sound healing. And there was also a lot of really delicious food. It was an event that I believe now it happens twice a year. It just goes around Australia. I'm familiar obviously with the Sydney venue, but I'm pretty sure that the guys that organize this event also go to Brisbane, Melbourne, and I think Adelaide as well. I'm not sure about Perth. But I also heard that Mind, Body, Spirit has actually expanded, and I think that last year, for example, I saw a lot of photos because I follow their account on Instagram, and I saw a lot of photos from Los Angeles. I heard that this year they're going to be in London as well. And so, you know, if you live in these areas, just keep an eye out, or, you know, check out the website, and I'll make sure to put the link in the description box below, because it might be very interesting if you're into tarot. Just for you to know, I'm pretty sure, because I spoke to the ladies at Rockpool yesterday, that Rockpool is going to be present at the Mind, Body, Spirit Festival in London, I think towards the end of this month. And lo and behold, they actually have for sale at really great prices some oracle decks that are actually not even released yet on the mass market. So I'm going to start by showing you this deck, the Green Witch Oracle. This is by no means new. You've probably seen this deck many times, but believe it or not, I actually didn't have it. Or I might have had it and then I rehomed it, I don't remember. I was there, and you know, the nice thing about the Rockpool stand is that you can actually have a look at all the decks. So there's one sample deck open, and you know, you're free to have a look at the cards, you're free to have a look at the guidebook. You know, there's plenty of consultants there, you can talk to them, and they can actually give you a bit of an indication of what you could like best. Because as you can imagine, Rockpool in the last few years, they've been just like a non-stop production machine, and they've been publishing so many, especially oracle decks, but lately in the last couple of years I feel like they've been picking up on tarot decks as well. And I'm really happy that they did, because they, especially lately, let's say the ones in the last 6 months or so, they have really good quality. Or let's say, okay, perhaps not really good quality, but they improved dramatically their quality. Let's put it this way. And so I was really happy to see that, for example, they're going to be picking up Sam Rook's latest tarot, which is called, I think the indie edition of that tarot deck, which is the one that I have, is called Penelope's Tarot. But Rockpool has been picking it up for mass market, and it's going to be called Veloria. Unfortunately, it wasn't there. I spoke to one of the guys at the Rockpool, and they said that it was just not ready to be, they were just not ready to, you know, come to the festival and have it for sale, which is a bit of a pity, because I would have really loved to see the difference. But they explained to me that it's going to be quite similar in production value and setup to the Squid Cake Marseille Tarot, which I have. So I think that, you know, the format is going to be that one, and it's going to be lots of fun. But let's have a look at the Green Witch Oracle, which is here. So I'm just going to open it up. It's wrapped. I'm always a bit nervous when using, you know, the kata like that, because it's super sharp, obviously, but sometimes a scissor just isn't gonna cut it. So here we go. We've got the Green Witch Oracle. So it comes in a 2-part box, which is very sturdy. And as I'm sure you've seen it multiple times in a lot of channels and also Instagram or Facebook. I love the fact that it's actually a bit of a sepia tone. The pages are a bit like antiqued, as if, you know, they were old, or as if there were someone who has been pouring over them while working at the same time, which is also the motif that is actually on the cards as well. So let's have a look. It always comes with the invitation to download the app from Rockpool. To be honest with you guys, I tried once, but it didn't work, and that was a couple of years ago. And then I was reading through the feedbacks on the App Store, and there's a lot of people saying exactly the same thing, that they couldn't even download it, or the ones that actually could download it, they couldn't open it, or it wasn't syncing, or what have you. So there's been a lot of problems. I actually don't know whether there's still a lot of problems or not. There might be have been solved, so maybe it's worth checking it out. So this deck is one of the older productions, so obviously it catches the light. It's very glossy, as you can see. The cardstock is not bad because it's kind of sturdy, and it's the classic size of the Oracle cards. I really like this because it doesn't only have, you know, obviously the drawing of the plant we're going to have a look at, but it's got the element, it's got a keyword, and also the name in English and in Latin. But also what I find really interesting is that it's got, in each and every card there's some kind of a symbol. So for example, the symbol is always related to the keyword. So if this is clarity, we have the all-seeing eye. Or for communication, we've got a quill. For desire, we've got the symbol for the Ouija board, and we've got the moon. Emotion, we got a Palo Santo. Okay, so the sun and the moon and the star are always the grounding with the tarot cards. That's so much fun. That's really nice. So as you can see, I really like this. So I have, as you know, if you watch my channel, you probably know how many botanical themes or nature themes that I've got. And you probably know more than I do, because I tend not to count my decks because I don't want to feel bad. And it's not gonna stop me if I count, if I know how many decks I've got. I do have a rough idea, but if I count to the, you know, to the latest one, how many decks I have, it's going to make me feel bad, but it's not going to stop me buying them. So it's not going to accomplish anything. So I prefer not to know. I live in denial. So what sets it apart, I think, from many others that I have, is the fact that I really like the colors, first of all. But as I said, I really appreciate the fact that it's got a few more symbols for me to be able to tune into the card meanings, which is not necessarily true of other decks that I've got. Apologies for the helicopter. So if you watch my channel, you know that I live very close to the ocean. We've got helicopters utilized in many different manners. In many cases is a search and rescue. I really hope that it's not the case. I really hope that it's not a search and rescue. Unfortunately, I can assure you there's a lot of people getting lost in the sea. The ocean in Manly, this is where I live, is very rough. So much so that we host one of the most famous surf world championships. And there's a reason, because, you know, the waves are really rough. I'm not talking Portugal, you know, level rough, but it's very easy to have accidents. So I really hope it's not a search and rescue. More likely it's a system that we have to spot sharks. So they just use the helicopter to try and spot sharks. So this was the Green Witch Oracle. The next deck is a tarot deck, and it's a Marseille tarot deck. It's the Square Cake Marseille Tarot, but just roller. And the reason why I bought this is because I have a lot of Marseille, but they're all either out of print and really hard to find, and getting to the point in which I would rather not use them because I don't want to ruin them. They're not mint, you know, so I cannot really reharm them or sell them hoping to make a profit out of them because they're not mint. But I don't want, because if I ruin them, I won't have the possibility to find them again. So I'd rather not use them. And that's all my TDM. So when I saw this coming out, I thought I really was going to get it. I think it was released probably a month ago or something like that. I got it yesterday because it was on sale for a really, really good price at the Rockpool stand. So let's have a look. If you're not familiar with it, it's a cutie. It's super duper cute. And it's one of those decks that it's also, you know, smaller than your standard size, which means that I can probably think about taking it with me when I travel. We'll see. Also, two-part pack, really, really cute pink color with, you know, the symbols of the miners. One thing that I remember, super cute bags, by the way. One thing that I remember, I think I remember seeing this deck in Lisa's channel, Lisa Papa's channel, and she was recommending it because the guidebook is actually Marseille as opposed to a very vague, very one sentence like guidebook. So let's have a look, because I really like the possibility to have a bit of a study, even though I do know how to read Marseille, but it's always nice to you know, just have a look at what a new production of the TDM looks like, and what the author in this case has been writing about in the book. So for example, for the 6 of baton, so wands, it says you're being asked to take a moment and look back at how far you've come, to pat yourself on the back and celebrate your success. This is a different kind of pose because you're personally putting on the brake. It's a chance to enjoy the scenery and take in the smell of a sweet victory. And then visually, okay, this is new. This is very common. This is new. Visually, there are fresh flowers blooming in all directions again. Okay, things are coming to fruition, and it's a change to it's a chance to stop and recognize the efforts you've made thus far. Take a moment to relish where you are right now and the energy it took to get to there. Okay, and then there's keywords: acknowledgement, success, participation. Okay, I see what you mean. It's obviously this visually part refers to the card, which is something that you don't always find, you know, on the guidebooks, especially not for Marseille. However, what do I see here? So this is the sun, and it's so the description for the sun is slightly different than the ones for the minors. So if the minors have two parts, one referring to the meaning of the card and one referring to the visual representation of the card, I think that here they may have been either skipping one of the two or, you know, consolidating them. But let's have a look. So the sun sheds light on what you originally couldn't see under moonlight. Okay, that's very interesting. The beastly shadow you thought was stepping out of your closet last night was just a tall pile of clothes on a chair. It's as if someone is shining a flashlight on things so that you can get a better look. So this is referred to the meaning of the card, obviously. The sun can also act as a spotlight and shine on your success, illuminating your achievements and allow you to see how far you've actually come. It's fun that I picked the 6 of baton and the sun, which are both cards that are inviting me to look at how far I've come. And it's something that resonates with me because lately I've been living in doubt. So thank you. So it's really interesting. It's got keywords again, and in this case it also has function. So as function it says illuminates. So I really enjoyed this far, and the deck it says something at the bottom of the box: engage your creativity and be inspired to think outside the box. It's very nice. So this is shrink wrapped as well, so I'll have to open it. Now, one thing, guys, that I see immediately here, I don't know if it's visible, it comes with a bow. Yeah, that's one thing that I noticed in lately. Well, yeah, definitely. One thing that I noticed lately in all of, not all, but in many of Rockpool published decks is that they have this bow. And I don't know, obviously living in Australia, it is a possibility that, you know, it is because it's becoming, especially Sydney, it's becoming more and more humid. So we've had a lot of humidity in the last 3 years. But this is a bit disappointing. It's not too bad. Come on, it's not too bad. I can live with this. I received, I think it was the Celtic Spirit Oracle deck, also by Rockpool. It was so warped that I put it like that on the table, flat on the table, and I could literally play with it, going, you know, up and down on the corners here, because it was that warped. But this one isn't, so it's okay. So as you can see, it's a modern take on the TDM. I really like it. It's I have seen videos of this, and the backs are just fantastic. I mean, look at the colors. I love them. So I've seen plenty of videos about this deck before. I wasn't too concerned about getting it because it was so cheap, so, you know, so affordable, that I thought, well, look, I mean, it's a TDM. I have to have one anyway. I want to check it out, and I heard really good things about it. So it comes, I kid you not, I spent like $18 Australian. So it's really cheap. I don't mean to say that it's the same price you might be able to find it at. Because I do know that Rockpool sometimes is giving Australians, you know, better prices. And I'm not complaining because, you know, in the scheme of things, US Games is treating Australia very poorly by not shipping anything to Australia, and any new deck has been released in the market in the US, and then in Europe, and then everywhere else, and lastly in Australia. So we have to wait like 6 months to get a deck. So just to give you an example, you guys are already enjoying the Midnight Magic, which is the mushroom related tarot deck. We have to wait until July to get it. So that's the difference in time between the releases. And I'm not saying anything, but at least when we have someone like Rockpool that is giving us, not, let's say they're not releasing in Australia first, they're still releasing in the US first, but at least they're giving us the possibility to spend a bit less when purchasing their decks. I love the fact that in the pseudo cups you got actual cups, like coffee cups and stuff in the code cards. So this is definitely right down my alley. I love the colors. I'm not a pink girly girl, but I do love these colors here because there's a bit of pink, but there's also a bit of really saturated oranges and reds, which is, you know, I really like that. So this is the Squid Cake Marseille Tarot. And now let's have a look at this deck, because I think that, so this deck has been released, I believe on the 15th of May in Australia. It has been released in the US first, but it's not an old release. So I don't think a lot of you have this. It's the Mushroom Spirit Oracle, and I think that it will pair really well with your Midnight Magic, but also I was thinking about getting the Mushroom Hunters tarot deck, which is an indie deck as opposed to the Midnight Magic, which is published by US Games, as we said. But I think this will pair up really well with the mushroom themes decks. And let me just say something. What's up with mushrooms lately? I mean, we've got so many mushrooms related decks, and don't get me wrong, I actually love mushrooms. I I actually have a very personal story about mushrooms. So when I was little, like I'm talking probably was ever since I was probably 4 or 5 years old until I was 14, 15, so for a good 10 years, I used to go to the Alps in Italy with my family, and one of my favorite activities was to go mushroom hunting with my mom and my dad. And my mom got sick, obviously, but I kept on going with my dad. And so it's I used to be able to recognize all the mushrooms that I could find and tell whether they were edible or not, you know, poisonous or not. I could even tell if they were actually good, because one thing is being edible and not killing you if you eat it, but another thing is actually, you know, if the taste is good. And so I remember that with fondness, and I will look at this oracle with fondness as well, because it will remind me of those times that I enjoyed going with my dad. So this is a very recent production, and I have to say kudos, because I don't know if I can show you. Yes, I can. So you see here the words Mushroom Spirit Oracle in that kind of glossy, kind of almost foil overprint. The rest of the box is almost velvety to the touch, which is very, very nice, very pleasant. And we've got the same velvety kind of feeling on the cover of the guidebook. Okay, so what have we got here? We've got, it's in color, which is always nice. We've got a bit of an content tables. We got an introduction. So welcome to the wonderful world of the mushroom. All mushrooms are classed as fungi. However, not all fungi are mushrooms. Okay, we're looking into logics now. So we've got a bit of introduction. We've got the how to use the oracle, doctrines of signatures. Given that we have only identified approximately 2 to 10% of all mushrooms, I did not know that. That's crazy. That's crazy. So we've got a couple of spreads as well, which is always nice. And then we go into the cards. We've got the, I think the name that we got a keyword. So this mushroom is called reishi. Spirit medicine is the keyword. Ganoderma lucidum is the Latin name for it. And then it actually tells you if it's edible or not, and it also tells you whether it's medicinal. So it's got a bit of a story about this particular mushroom, and then it's got the card meaning. And that's it. But it's very nice, very good. I really, really like the way they set this up. But let's have a look at the cards, because that's what we're here for. Okay, is this warped? No. So this is not warped, so I don't know, maybe. Because this is a very recent print, more recent than the Squid Cake must say. It might be that it hasn't stayed in the, maybe because they stay in the shelves for long and then they get warped because of humidity. I have no idea. Honestly, I don't know. So the cardstock is actually very nice, very sturdy. Is that two? No, it's one card. My God, I actually, originally I thought I picked two. So it's very thick, very sturdy, to the point that it's, it feels a bit stiff, to be honest with you. Now, if this were tarot size, this would be too stiff. The fact that it's bigger, it's oracle size, makes it a bit less stiff, so more flexible. I don't mind it though, because oracle cards, I cannot riffle shuffle them anyway. So overhand it is. To be honest with you, the gilding is not my favorite. It's been edged in this kind of earthy kind of green, which I totally get, because it's very, you know, it's picking up the colors from the back, but by itself it's not my favorite color, although I do love green. But anyway, I don't want to be negative. It's just, you know, first impressions. That's what this video is about, right? So first impressions. It's got, I believe, the same concept of the Green Witch, in the sense that it looks as if it's a bit dirty or antiqued here, you see. Oh my goodness, I've never seen this. Lion's mane, calm. Oh my take. Cordyceps. Enoki. I like them. Oyster. So it would be interesting to see, obviously, in the guidebook if it also tells you the indication, the geographical indication of the of where you can find these decks. These not these decks, obviously, these mushrooms. Ghost mushroom. It looks like it's a glow in the dark kind of mushroom. So I don't know, to me, I don't know if it's just me or maybe me and a few other people. I actually enjoy this deck. It's beautiful. I like looking at mushrooms. I find it calming. I find it soothing. And as I said, it does bring about some really nice memories of my childhood. So I'm quite happy that I got this. I will get the Midnight Magic as well. I might have to get it from Amazon Italy because, of course, I don't want to wait until July to get it here in Australia. And I might pair it up with this one. But I also saw there was another, so this Mushroom Hunters indie deck that I'm interested in. I might have a look at that one as well. It might pair well with that. So this is the Mushroom Spirit Oracle. But let's come to this deck because I think that everyone has been waiting for this deck. Everyone has been talking about this deck. Everyone has been excited about this deck. So this is the Seasons of the Witch Mabon Oracle. It's by the same authors, creators as the other three. So we've got the Seasons of the Witch. The first one they published was the Samhain. The second one was the Yule. And the third one was Beltane. And now we've got Mabon as well. So Lorianne Anderson and Juliet Diaz. And it's been illustrated by Tihana Lukovic. So I'm not sure that this is the same illustrator as the other decks. Probably not, because the name doesn't ring a bell. But in any case, so we've got, let me just open it because otherwise it's full of reflection, it catches the light. So I was really excited about this deck. I had no idea whether I would have been able to find it at the Rock Pool stand or not. I practically, when I got inside the big hall, so it's a very big so it's a very big hall at the Sydney Exhibition Centre or International Convention Centre, as it's been renamed recently. It's a very, very big hall, and you kind of get lost if you don't know where to go. So being the first time that I was in, this time, I didn't know whether where to find the rock pool guys, and so I had to, literally almost run around to just find them. And when I finally found them, I just went there and I asked, "Do you have the Mabon?" And they were like, yeah, don't worry, we've got it. They've been making sure that they have enough, for Sydney. They're keeping copies for Melbourne, Adelaide and Brisbane as well. So don't worry, you'll find it. I was reading at the back here. So celebrate the autumn equinox with the energy of Mabon and give thanks for the abundance of Mother Earth, both literally and spiritually. So it's, because we're talking about autumn, fall, Australia is actually, it makes sense for us to have it here and to have it released here, because we are, on the 1st of June, we're actually entering winter. Because we're in the southern hemisphere, so it would make sense, that we would have this oracle, even though we're past that, because we are going towards Yule, actually. So let's have a look at the guidebook. So I was told that this is slightly different, but we'll see it on the cards. So as always, this is very similar, it looks to me. So you got the card, you got the keyword, you got a bit of a sentence here. Now it used to be sentences, especially in the Samhain edition. The Samhain edition, disclaimer, I love it. I absolutely love it, but I've been looking for the indie edition, and if I find it, I'll probably reharm the mass market. Why? because the sentences on the mass market, and I'm not sure 100% that it's not on the indie as well, but I don't think it is. The sentences are too difficult for me. So it's a kind of a poem-like kind of sentences. I have to read them twice in order to actually understand them. And that actually takes me away, that distracts me from the reading. But I was told that it's not just people, not non-English natives like myself, that have been not complaining, but at least pointing that out. And I heard that I actually changed that for this deck. So let's have a look. So in this case, for Peppers, it says, be fierce about the ways in which you protect yourself. Allies await. That, I love that. I love that. It's simple, to the point. I understand it. It's not a poem. And please don't get me wrong, I love poems, but I'm not a native. So when something has a bit of a, let's say, a hidden meaning, let's say something like that, it's not straightforward to me. I have to read it a couple of times. So I really do appreciate that in this case, we've got very simple sentences, not in the form of poems. Oh my goodness, grieving. Grief, mourning, deep sorrow, heartbreak. Okay, I thought cards like that would have been just in Samhain, but we've got them here as well. But let's have a look at the cards. So, really nice orange, burnt orange kind of color in the middle, in the back. And also I really, so not warped, so I think I'm gonna have to eat my words up, because this is the third deck that is not warped from Rockpool. However, I do see, and I tend to see that a lot lately, there is a bit of a, whenever we have gilding, as in gloss gilding, it tends to come out a little bit here. You know what, I've seen it a lot in the African Gods and Goddesses Oracle deck, also by Rockpool. It came to me and it was a really nice red gilding, but it was in many places. It was literally just almost corroded, so I had to send it back. But this one is fine. It's absolutely fine. And it sounds like I'm complaining a lot today. I'm just being thorough. I'm not complaining. I'm not actually a complainer, if you can believe it. Okay, so they kept through to the, let's say, the production of the other 3 decks, which I actually appreciate, because I am thinking about a type of a seasonal spread, you know, where I would use just these 4 decks. And I know that In Bulk is actually being published sometime in November, so that I might wait and include that one as well. I don't know. So still very sturdy cards, but flexible as well. We've had a look at the gilding already. It is a glossy card, as if you have the other editions, you will know. It's not super glossy, but it is glossy. And it's definitely a different illustrator. But they kept, you know, they kept the theme. They kept that kind of really beautiful artwork and color palette. Ooh, cacao. Cacao, you are loved, you are held, and you already are everything you seek. That's beautiful. It's such a beautiful deck. Oh my goodness, it might actually become one of my favorite. So I'm not gonna show you all the cards, but if you'd like to see a walkthrough, like a deep dive on this deck, please let me know in the comments below, because I know that, well, first of all, it has not been released in the market, not anywhere. So you'll be seeing it first on my channel, or, you know, in other channels of people from Sydney that went to the festival, the Harvest Moon. So if you want, just let me know in the comments below and I'll be happy to show you. But this, guys, it looks really beautiful. I really appreciate it. It's yeah. It makes me really looking forward to read with this. My goodness, so powerful. Oh, that's so beautiful. And I see a lot of diversity as well, which I really like. Shape shifting, that's beautiful. Anyway, I'm gushing, I know. But it is, it's a beautiful deck, really beautiful. So this is the Seasons of the Witch Mabon Oracle. And another deck that has not been released yet anywhere is the Healing Heart Oracle, Love Letters to Your Soul, by Inna Siegel, illustrated by Gina della Grottaglia. Now, I am familiar with both of them. Inna Siegel is the author of the Mystical Healing cards. Apologies if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. I was really looking forward to this deck because from the very few cards that I could actually see in the website, it looks like it's got the same setup as the Human Nature Oracle, or Human Spirit, sorry, Human Spirit Oracle deck, also by Rockpool. That was also on sale in Sydney at the festival, but I already have that deck, so I didn't purchase it. This was slightly more expensive. I don't know whether it was because it's a bit of they called it a deluxe kind of production, and let's see why. It is, so it's a bigger box, as you can see. Very nice. They use the same technique, so the words have a gold stamping, and also this a couple of elements on the photo. For example, this golden coin and the heart, which makes sense. So I don't know, it doesn't come open though. I don't know why. It's a bit it's stuck, and it doesn't look like it's one of those decks. It's not a two-parts box. It's supposed to open. Okay, I managed to open it, but I have to say it wasn't easy. And I was really worried about damaging the box, which means that, you know, size-wise, this one might be too, I don't know, too close. The two parts of the cardboard here are really, there's a lot of frictions and it gets stuck. But it feels really beautiful. It feels very luxurious. I do understand why they would actually ask more for this. So the on the inside it says, send healing love letters to your heart and build your inner strength. And we got the guidebook, a ribbon, and the cards. So let's just take it out. So let's have a look at the guidebook first. Also very nice to the touch, a very good, very nice tactile feeling, sensation. So I'm thinking, obviously it's got an introduction, how to use the cards, and then the cards. Does it have any spread? No. Oh, that's okay. So for what I could understand, having a look at the website, it does have a couple of spreads, yes. One card, 2, 3. Oh, there you go, you got plenty. The cards. Okay, so just a word, I think there might be some AI. We're kind of familiar nowadays, aren't we, with what AI looks like, and this to me looks like, at least, let's say there's been an AI input and then it may have been, you know, reworked. I, for one, I don't know, the jury is still out for me when it comes to what I feel in regards to AI, because I don't know, I don't have enough information. And whenever I do some research, there's a lot of contradictions, there's a lot of gray area. And I don't necessarily have enough, I don't feel like I have enough information to decide whether I'm for or against it. I think that for now, I'm just trying to see whether I enjoy it or not. And as you know, as it happens for anything related to the artistic world, there are some style of AI that I actually like and some others that I don't. But I do understand the debate. I do understand the oh, look at that, that's the card that we saw at the beginning here. So there's definitely some AI here. But then in any case, let's have a look at the cards. So okay, there's a matte gold gilding. See, I think that when they go matte as opposed to gloss, it's actually better preserved and it doesn't chip as easily. This one is also not warped, so sorry, rock ball. I do have a couple of decks that came warped, or you know, with the bar, so I'm not making it up, it's true. Okay, so what I really like is, and that's what I saw in the website as well, and that's the main reason why I got this deck. You not only have really beautiful images, but you also have on the side here, which is the same setup as the Human Spirit Oracle, you have kind of a sentence or a keyword, you know, something that makes you, it helps with meditation, it helps with the way in which I will use this deck is as a send-off message after a complex kind of reading. So for example, I don't give out oracle send-off messages when I give a 3 cards pull, because it's generally a very simple, very straightforward, or also very quick kind of reading. But whenever I'm doing something more complex, then in that case I will definitely use an oracle card, just one card, as a send-off message, and also to wrap up the whole concept of the reading. So in this case, it's I think it's very versatile to use this kind of work, because for example in here you've got hurt heart, I see you, which is very, very touching. Worthy heart, you are enough. Unseen heart, you are significant. Wow. Rebellious heart, think for yourself. Trusting, knowing, curious. I have the feeling that this is going to be betrayed heart. Risk opening up to life and love. Yeah, definitely. I have the impression that this is going to be one of those decks that can make myself and others very emotional. It feels like it's not in the confrontational way, but it is very deep. This is definitely AI. And I'm not saying it in a bad way. I actually like this image. There you go. It depends on how much work comes from the artist, you know, and how much has been sampled from the internet. That's the main debate, isn't it? And also the fact that how much work has been done afterwards on the images. So one thing is starting from AI, but then you know, using your own art and skills to produce something, or just, you know, clicking a button and then that's it. I think that there's a difference. It should be recognized as a difference. Don't give up on love, heart. What do you desire? It's a very, very deep kind of deck. And I'm kind of happy that I got it, because I'm doing some kind of work with a person lately, and I really believe that she needs this kind of send-off messages at the end of the readings that we do. And it's also a beautiful deck, beautiful backs as well. So this is the Healing Heart Oracle. So this is another deck that I picked up. It's not by Rockpool. This one I think is by Schiffer, is it? No, Psycho Books. That's odd. I thought it was by Schiffer. I don't know. Anyway, Psycho Books. So this deck has been recommended to me by a friend of mine, a dear friend of mine. She's also a tarot reader. She's an also tarot reader. I told her many times that she should be, you know, reading tarot on a channel on YouTube, but for now she doesn't have time, because obviously she's working, and but it will be really cool to be able to do some you know, live together. So this deck is the Tree Magic Oracle deck. It's got 52 cards and 64 pages, illustrated book. 52 magical messages drawn from the world of trees. I love trees more than plants. I feel like I know less about plants than I know about trees, which is not a lot, unfortunately. I wish I knew more, honestly. And it's also because, oh, it's one of those boxes. Okay, fair enough. And it's also because my husband is a horticulturalist, so obviously he knows everything about plants. So when you have a job like that, you kind of, the knowledge is really so vast that you have to choose between, you know, you want to know everything about plants, or you want to know everything about trees, or you want to know everything about fruits. You cannot know everything about everything. And so he had to choose, because of his work, he had to choose plants. And we've always been fascinated by trees, nonetheless. Especially because trees is the first thing you notice out of a plane. Do I make sense? So when you fly into a new country and you look out of the window, and you the first thing you see, apart from buildings, but let's say the first thing you see that is big enough for you to notice it when it comes to the natural kingdom is trees, right? So it's the one thing that you can compare to your own country, and you feel like, okay, there's different trees, I'm in a different country. Am I the only one that does that? I always look at trees from planes. Oh, that's very nice. So we've got a really nice book, full color, and we got like a shorted kind of description for each and every tree. For example, we got the cherry tree here. So you got the image. An inviting fruit may not be genuine, permanent, or good for you. Okay. Cherry blossom madness is a euphemism for the emotional insanity of puberty. Okay, no, not puberty anymore. No, definitely far from puberty. Anyway, so I love the cedar tree as well. The boba tree. Okay, I'm really happy that there's trees from all over the world, because, you know, the boba trees is something that I really want to be able to enjoy in Madagascar one day. I am really looking forward to go and visit. Oh, there's a lot of spreads as well, which is very cool. Some trees are so beautiful, and they're so majestic, they're so big. So if you haven't seen, I think I was in Sequoia National Park, I think. So I've been, in 2018, I spent 3 months road tripping in the US, and I went to as many national parks as I could, and I just loved the trees. I just literally fell in love with all the trees there. They are so big. The sequoias are so big and so old, and you know, all the information you get when you go there with a guide, it's just mind-blowing to me. I'm fascinated by the history. So this deck, okay, let's see. They all come with the belly band. Okay, it's a bit, okay, it's a lot sticky. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear it. I'm gonna have to be careful because I don't want to ruin the cards, because it feels like they're sticking together. And sometimes when it's this sticky, you may have a bit of damage on the card. Let me just see one. Okay, no damage. It doesn't even feel like there is any residual glue, so that's good. Hopefully they're all like that. So what have we got here? So we've got a tree, obviously. We got a bit of branches and leaves, and then we've got a sentence. So aim high for the tree of heaven aspiration, that's the key word. Aim high, gifts of heaven will be granted to you. Dream, plan, and believe. I love the fact that there's a lot of white space, because I'm already thinking that this could pair well with the Line Strider Tarot by Sholo Thompson, and also the, what's it called? The Vindur deck by Leah Panthea, because they both have like a central kind of figure, and then they have a lot of white space around. But I'll check that out. I love the backs as well. They're not reversible, so but I don't tend to read reversals in an oracle deck, so anyway, but this is really cute. So I'm not going to show you all the cards because I will have to be very careful when separating them. I really don't want to damage this. I really don't want to damage this. But this is basically, this is, as you can see here, my goodness, it's really sticky. It's really, really beautiful images, nice sentences, and I really appreciate the fact that we've got keywords. This one doesn't even come out. Okay, I will have to see if I'm gonna Google. I'm sure that there's a YouTube tutorial on how to separate cards when they're glued up like that. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to search for a video tutorial that will show me how not to damage the cards. But this is the Tree Magic Oracle. So another thing that I wanted to show you is this astrology diary for the Southern Hemisphere that actually they gave me at the rock pool stand for free. Because, well, basically you can get it if you buy something, and also if you follow them on Instagram. And I've been a big follower of their account on Instagram for years, so you know, I was happy to get this. There were a couple of options, a couple of diaries, the Stacy DeMarco and the Goddesses diary, I think, and also the horoscope for 2023. I have the Stacy DeMarco. The Goddesses is very nice, but I have 3 diaries, so I don't really need the 4th one. And this is a diary as well. However, this is kind of different because it doesn't really have much room, you know, for writing your stuff. I mean, to me, this could not be used as a diary because I have so many things that I have to write down for each and every day, and there's not much room. But what I do appreciate is, in this case, for example, today is Friday, the 19th of May, so we're here. And it tells you the position of the stars and the planets. So we've got Mercury sextile Saturn, a good time to be realistic and put carefully laid plans in motion. Financial agreements could be made. Moon enters Gemini. So that's, let's say, that's what I really appreciate about this. It also gives you the moon phases. Okay, so it's, yeah, I'm going to have a look. I'm not well versed, I'm not too savvy on astrology. I really know just the basics. So this can actually help me, I think, you know, just knowing something more. And it's always interesting. There you go. So this is the 2023 Astrology Diary by Patsy Bennett. And then something else that I got there was this crystal ball with a stand, as you can see. I always wanted a crystal ball ever since I was little. And this is, there's so many crystal shops, you know, at the festival. I think there's let's say the proportion is probably 90% crystal shops, 10% everything else. So obviously I shopped around, and this one was very, very reasonable in price. It's a very heavy crystal ball. And yeah, I just wanted to have that, you know, but not just scrying necessarily, because I don't necessarily do that, but because I believe that it's a very nice thing to have. That's all. That's something that I wanted. And then something else that I actually got a bit of Palo Santo, which I already started using. Smells really nice. And this incense cones is called Dragon's Blood. I've used one already, and it smells divine. It's absolutely fantastic. So this is it, and it was quite a lot, as you can see. So if you're in Sydney, I'm going to be posting this one tomorrow, so on Saturday, Australia time. So obviously for the US it would be Friday night. But if you're in Sydney, the festival is still going on Saturday, and it's closing up on Sunday, I think around 4 p.m. I'm not entirely sure. So if you're in Sydney, you can still pop by and have a look. But it's also going to Melbourne, it's going to Adelaide, and it's going to, I'm pretty sure it's going to Brisbane as well. And then there'll be another festival in October generally. It has not been confirmed yet, but I do believe so. And the thing is that in October I may actually be there myself with another lady. This lady reads astrology, and I will be reading tarot. So if you're in Sydney, but I will be confirming this. There's nothing set in stone yet. So thank you so much for staying with me till the end of this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the content. More to come. Have a great day.